Okay, so one of the things that's been bothering me a lot lately, um, there seems to be like this huge change going on with doctors in like the medical community in general. Whereas, like, I remember when I was younger, I'm 40 years old. I remember when I was younger, you could go to the doctor and pretty much like if you said something hurt, they gave you a pain pill. If you said that, whatever, what, I'm not a doctor. I don't want to, like get into all the logistics of this, but now recently, at least here in California, and I'm unaware if it's happening in other states too, but here in California, overnight, and I didn't take this medication, but when I went to the pharmacy the other day, I ran into a really good friend of mine from one of my gyms that I used to go to in the past that closed down, and he looked like hell. Like he looked like he was on his fucking deathbed, and I'm like, dude, what happened? And like, so like overnight one night, and I think it was about 6 or 7 months ago. Um, the DEA sent letters to pharmacies, like every pharmacy, at least here where I live, and I don't want to talk out of turn and say everywhere in California or everywhere in the United States, but at least here where I live, all the pharmacies received letters, and the letter basically stated, even if a patient is prescribed methadone, do not distribute it to them. Basically saying, like, even if your doctor writes you a prescription, you bring it in, you're not gonna get that medication. Well, this is something that he was on, and he was on it because he's had like 3 back surgeries, 2 shoulder surgeries, and it was kind of deemed to be a I don't want to say a safer pain medication alternative, because it really wasn't. A lot of people had a lot of problems coming off of it. It was really bad, in that sense. But I guess when it first came out, it was kind of like deemed as like this pain medication that worked really well, but it didn't really get you high. It kind of had like this, I don't know, like opiate blocking effect type of, I don't know. I'm not a pharmacist. I'm not a doctor anyway. And then soon after that happened, they basically said nobody, no matter what your pain or the cause, was going to get any opiate pain medications. Now, I don't take those either. So, again, this doesn't directly affect me. Here's where it starts to directly affect me. Because of the pharmacies and doctors' fear of, I guess, like the DEA or the American Medical Association or the Board of Pharmacies, whatever, now every fucking thing is scrutinized, to the point where it's like, I don't condone, obviously, abusing any drugs, because I've done that in the past. I've been a drug addict. I guess in like AA terms or 12-step program terms, I always will be. But I don't go to those things. I believe it's kind of busy work, an avoidance thing. Now, because of this, people are suffering. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the term Hippocratic Oath, but it's like an oath a doctor took when he became a doctor. Fuck did I just do? When he became a doctor to help people. Okay, and now they're basically being told they're like not allowed to. I told the story the other day about I had to change doctors for my anxiety disorder thing. I had to change doctors the other day. When I got my medication, the pharmacist had put the wrong doctor's name on the bottle. So I called the pharmacy, she like immediately fucking lit into me like it was like I'm the one that made the fucking mistake. She's like, I just put the wrong name on the bottle. I don't have time for this, you know, and hung up on me, like literally hung the phone up on me. So because when I had gone to that new doctor, he had me sign like a, I don't know, I guess like a form or something that like he just quickly wrote up, you know, saying I will not, you know, frequent other physicians and this and that. You know, I guess a lot of people do this thing called doctor shopping where they like go to multiple doctors and try to get, you know, more and more medication. Anyway, I signed it because I didn't think anything of it. Well, because the wrong doctor's name was on my medication bottle, I called the doctor and I said, hey, look, here's what happened. I handed in your prescription and they put the old doctor's name on it. Now, I didn't understand if it was a refill I didn't know I had from my past doctor or if it was my new prescription I'd handed in. So he goes, you know, he's basically like, damn, I've never heard of anything like that. That's so weird. So he's like, can you give me their phone number? I'll call them. So I give him the phone number. He calls them. And when he calls me back, he's like, I don't know if I can see you anymore. You know, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just thinking, what in the fuck must this pharmacist have told this doctor to get him upset at me? And then I'm also thinking in my head, I'm like, why if I had done something wrong would I have called and told on myself, given him the phone number and had him call and ask? You know what I mean? Like, what a dumb fuck move that would have been. But like, anyway, that's neither here nor there. My issue is that there seems to be in this whole thing of like these, you know, we're trying not to give opiate medications, and hey, look, I get it, they're addictive, they're dangerous, whatever. But what happened to like individual diagnosis? You know what I mean? Like now we are just grouping people into, you know, this massive group of like, oh, pain patients, such and such patients, this, that, and the other, and everybody's basically receiving the same thing. When I was younger, in my 20s, I saw this an amazing doctor. Actually, she was actually a nurse practitioner, but she should have been a doctor because she was like the best doctor I'd ever had. She, when I would hurt myself, you know, would give me, you know, pain medications, and she gave me anxiety I've had anxiety all my life. She would give me my anxiety medications. Anyway, she since has passed from cancer, probably years, you know, 15 years ago. It's not like a recent thing. But throughout the years of my trying to, you know, handle and deal with this anxiety thing, now, I'm not saying I'm a fucking basket case or anything. My anxiety more is in terms of like when I start thinking about something, I get stuck on it. You know what I mean? And I have on occasion had like a panic attack or whatever, but like the grouping of people and the loss of like individual diagnosis is kind of a bothersome thing to me, and I don't see a lot of people talking about it. I hear people talking about it on the street, but you know, to me it's just like the gun laws. Okay, it's just exactly like gun laws. Okay, the only people that suffer from these type of things are the people who legitimately need their medicine. So like, we changed the gun laws. Criminals still have guns. You know what I mean? Criminals still have guns. It's just the legitimate, you know, people who lost a lot of their weapons and rights and this and that. Criminals still have guns. Same sense. Criminals, or I shouldn't say criminals, drug addicts or people who are addicted to a substance are gonna find it one way or another. And one of the main problems with taking opiate pain medications away from the majority of people, I'm not saying everyone, you know, there are, you know, people out there that still get them or whatever, but generally they're like in their 60s and 70s. I think the doctors just assume they're gonna die on them, and so they don't really worry about, you know, detox and taking them off of these medications, whatever. people who take these things, you know, I don't want to say not as prescribed or recreationally, but like people who've had these prescriptions, you know, like say Joe Schmo works at the fucking shipping yard. He has kind of a bad back. He gets fucking Vicodin or Percocet. He's been doing it for years. All of a sudden they're taking it away from him. Okay, his back still fucking hurts. So like people like that are gonna find some alternative solution to remedy their pain, in which case a lot of times leads people to street drugs. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I would think it would be much, much worse for people to be out there doing heroin than taking a Percocet, or even buying other people's pain medications or whatever. I don't know. You know, let me know what you think. It's just something that I've been thinking about, and I kind of think I'm not a conspiracy theorist. It's just one of those things. It's kind of like fucking, you know, the war on drugs and how we all figured out that like it wasn't even real. It was a fake. There was never any war on drugs. Like I kind of feel like it's something like that. You know, so anyway, let me know what you guys feel. I'll make another video today. I was just thinking about that sitting here, and I want to talk about it briefly. Anyway, I'll be back.